Welcome everyone to game number 1 of the Olimoleague. Give it up over here in the bottom right hand corner of the map for the red Terran player from Africa Freaks. It's aLive.
In the top left, as the blue Protoss, he is Gyulzz.
I just realized how weird the name like Africa Freaks aLive must sound to non-StarCraft players.
Well,
like he's an African freak and he's alive.
There's like that Reddit thread where it was like it linked to the other Reddit thread that was like a title.
Oh yeah.
Where it was asking for VODs,
only
and it
makes
was
sense.
like if you weren't in StarCraft, this made absolutely zero sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's exactly what that is like. Freak of freaks.
We already have a. What do you think about these Wallens to prevent the Reapers that we have from Gyulzz? I've always been a little bit torn about it, because I feel like with how much more common siege tanks are in the meta for PvT these days, I'm always afraid that there's going to be like that one Terran that's like, oh, let me maybe move my army back behind the rocks, and I'll actually siege up the Cybernetics core and the pylon and the gateway with the siege tank.
I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a danger, but like, I don't know, siege tank pushes, they do take a long time, and it might be worth it, but I don't think it is ever really worth it to go that far up north, so.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, have you ever actually been pushed by it?
I got pushed by it once, but that was also a game that I got pushed by Cloak Banshees, which is not entirely ordinary in the matchup right now.
No, it's not, so. It's also like, so, like, that's like a very big fear, like tank pushes versus Protoss. And even like the same tank pushes you would see versus Zerg, like the one that comes behind the rocks and then can like even sort of drop to covered by the tanks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's also that push specifically is fallen off so much since King Sejong has come back in the map pool, just because, you know, Zergs always break down those rocks, or Protosses actually like expect the pushes now or something like that. Oh, but look at this. Dark Shrine.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier how the Dark Shrine has been really, really popular in the PvT meta lately, and then there's the Robo. We're probably going to be seeing the DT drop now. Do have First Blood as Medevac also loads up and starts making way across the map. The Robo is going to be important because this Widowmine drop should delay the drop. It should also scout out the Dark Shrine, but it's going to delay the drop in the sense that I think the first thing having to be made from that Robo will have to be an observer, so there's not going to be a Warp Prism made immediately.
Yeah, and this Widowmine drop always hits when a Dark Shrine, a 2-base Dark Shrine that is still building, so there's a chance that you'll actually scout it if you go into the main base, which is going to be really nice for aLive, who already has Engineer Bait on the way, but yeah, definitely needs that time to build the missile turrets.
Yeah, it's going to be able to scout out the Robo, as well as that Twilight Council is just barely out of vision range, but the Engineer Base is going to be going up regardless. These Hellions are doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
damage.
never mind. I thought the probes are still safe.
Oh, yeah.
The turret wore off, never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay.
Well, I mean, 8 workers is pretty bad, and the DT is going to be able to come in over here and finish things up, but the Widowmine gets out, the Hellion gets out, a couple of the Marines get out. Like, only a single Marine has died so far for aLive.
Yeah. And,
This one Hellion.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So, there was a proxy pylon, that's a very, very slow warp in, and aLive already has 3 missile turrets. I'm gonna guess 1 in each base and 1 covering the production. Yep. That's exactly how he does it. And this time, he doesn't put aLive turrets down. I guess it's only for mutas. So they're actually in the mineral line. And he should be Gucci. Covers the wall, actually.
STV dancing on top of the supply depot, just saying like, come and get me, loser. Can't do anything about it. Looks like the stim is going to be going up, though, and aLive is in a really, really nice spot. Being up 5 workers, having your stim and everything else on the way, getting your production up, whereas your opponent is stuck on these DTs that aren't really doing a whole lot.
Yeah, the DT rush ends up not doing a ton, and that's not necessarily a problem. Like, DTs have become more of a macro build, again, unless it's like a 1-base thing, with like, you know, that buff so long ago to the Dark Shrine cost, but
Yeah.
it's still a case where he took damage from the Widowmine drop and the Hellions, like, on top of that, and it was such a good preparation for DTs that it is still going to be very difficult to macro out of it. Like, it is still a tech path you went down that wasn't Blink, you know, which would already be done if he just went for Blink right off the bat, that you have to recover from. And I don't think... I already think, like, this is pretty bad because the third base is so late for Gyulzz.
Yeah. The kind of nice thing about the DT is also acting as a walking observer. Now, aLive is going to immediately spot it out, gets the kill on it with a scan before it even takes a single swipe, so really, really nicely done. But, I mean, at least he has the potential to, like, maybe go back in a little bit later on. Having a missile turret there doesn't necessarily guarantee that you will be able to defend against the DTs. As we've seen so many times in the past, the DTs can just oftentimes kill it if you aren't paying attention, and especially if it's during the middle of an engagement.
It's true. Yep. Well, Gyulzz, I think his time is almost up. Again, like, even if he defends this push because he stayed on 2 bases for so long, he actually can consolidate. That still means he doesn't have a third base. And, you know, this isn't like Heart of the Swarm Protoss where you can kind of push off the third base for like a little bit if you're really in danger. You know, you can get pretty late bases back then, not in Legacy of the Void.
Okay, well, Liberator getting 5 kills already at the same time that the pushing comes at the front. Focus firing down the pylon.
Just like stalkers. There's no way.
This is not even going to be a backup of Photon Overcharge because the pylon got focused down so quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, this is game. But hey, you take damage from the Widowmines. Hellions, actually. But you take damage from the Hellions, take damage, or don't do any damage to the DTs. It does all add up.
Yeah.
For a loss.
Well, natural expansion, it gets focused right down for a little bit, but there goes the Observer, so now you can't even detect the Widowmines anymore. Things are not looking too good right now. At least the Liberator got pushed back, cleaned up.
Got that much going for me.
Yeah.
aLive actually, did he bring down the back rocks, or did that one DT just chip away at it? Well, either way, he cleaned the other his back rocks.
Yeah.
He cleans up a DT that was back there either way. But I don't think there's much of a reason, especially when you know they have DTs, to open up another pathway for them to enter. But maybe that's aLive changing it up a little bit. This is technically the faster path to the opponent's base.
Okay, well, 3 Adepts get warped in because at least they'll be able to tank a little bit better, but GG gets called, and aLive going to be taking game number 1.
Yeah. Very strong. This guy was actually up, what, 15 hours ago? Like, very odd times in the morning to compete in the Corsair Cup. So, actually, 12 hours because he was towards the semifinal, so he was up pretty late.
Nice. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, we were up like like 7 hours ago, so not saying it's a competition.
Yeah, right. He would have been awake like a time I am right now, 6 a.m.
Yeah. And
then he would have had like plenty of time to actually take a nap. But yeah, I guess he has not much else to do. I don't know his situation for like Pro League, obviously, but apparently he's starting to kind of do what Hydra did for a month, I guess, just to participate in every single tournament possible.
Yeah, and it's not a bad strategy and everything. Of course, aLive is just a more well-known player, so I would say this first round, he's definitely going to be pretty heavily favored coming into this. Like, it'd be a big upset if he ended up losing over here, even if it is in a fairly early round, like a round of 16 match.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I chose this was because originally I think he was going up against Keen. But that might have changed, or maybe I was just tired from waking up, and I don't know. But he is still going to face Tails, probably, which still wouldn't be a bad TvP.
Yeah. But since I'm sure that we have some more people tuning in now for the Olimoleague, I want to remind you guys that you guys can check out the Olimoleague Patreon page. If you guys are interested in supporting the Olimoleague, even though it is now sponsored by Twitch Korea, there is still a ton of support that comes in for the Patreon. You can find it over at patreon.com/Olimoleague. You can contribute and add a bit more to the prize pool if you want to see more of the Olimoleague.
Yeah. Plus, there comes some cool rewards. I like the replay pack and stuff. But there's more hopefully on the way, as being supported by Twitch Korea is like pretty cool, pretty big deal.
Yeah, I'm I'm pretty excited also because I just want to know what those extra rewards will be. Because I remember I've been supporting the Olimoleague for a little bit and everything, and I remember reading through all the rewards and everything. I was like, oh, these are pretty cool. Like, hey, get casted by Total Biscuit, and get free coaching from Crank and all kinds of other things, as well as all the replays.
Yeah. It's one difference, Olimoleague, we don't give out the replays, BaseTradeTV that is, like we usually do for everything else we cast, but actually goes through at Patreon, so patreon.com/Olimoleague. It should be Gyulz's map choice, but it's taking a bit to maybe communicate that to aLive.
He's going through aLive's match history and trying to form an...
you can actually really easily do that, right? Because there's the whole statistics.
Yeah.
I could do it.
So, the statistics that you see for a player are based on the matchup. You can't see for map. Unless you're facing them in a tournament, in which case you can see their map statistics, right? There's no way to see opponents' map statistics.
No, you can see map report.
Wait, really? Where?
Yeah, it's underneath race report.
What?
Oh my god, I'm blowing your dragon's mind right now.
No, hold on. I don't even believe you right now.
Go to ladders. Look,
okay.
his best map is New Gettysburg.
Okay, go into statistics. And I immediately jumped into the game, so I have to go through that whole process again. Like, I'm not gonna make them wait for me, but I really want to figure out what the heck you're talking about. Have I... Wait, okay. What?
Like, you can't do it by race and map. Like, that would be really easy.
But I could have used this the whole time against opponents?
What opponents did you need that information? What tournaments are you playing in?
No, don't you... Have you never done the whole, like, someone trash talks you and was like, man, I can't believe how bad you are, and everything. Like, 1v1 me, bro. Like, come on, you've never done that before?
I've never challenged someone like that, and I've never taken a challenge when someone said that to me. It's always gonna go poorly, whether you win or lose. If you lose, especially.
What are you talking about? It goes great if you win. It goes fantastic. If you lose, it's like,
we're just gonna keep on BMing you and be like, your race is dumb. Nah. I have a rule. I don't take this.
All right. Well, our next map we are going to be hopping into. Is this Frozen Temple?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The name is in Korean, so I just want to make sure. But all right, we're hopping into Frozen Temple, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 2, and we are going to be starting up here in the top left-hand corner of the map, on top of the red Terran player from Africa Freaks, and sitting up 1-0. It's aLive.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, he is Gyulzz. I want to quickly mention, I guess the Twitch alerts didn't really pick this up. But I guess after the cast, or right as I logged off or something, people subscribed, so that's really cool. So Batmro, Mr. Torrential, and Orialiero. I feel like one of those or two of those are resubs, but Twitch alerts didn't pick that up. But more importantly, this wasn't picked up. Superhero resub for 9 months at the very beginning of the stream. Gonna use this opportunity to say, Rifkin, I hope you recover well. Thank you very much.
And yes, I think that's a good transition to talking about the fact that, yeah, where is Rifkin? Rifkin would normally be here with Zombie Grub doing the Olimoleague, but he's currently indisposed for the moment.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know most of you know the deal now as you watch this one base, I guess, unfold from aLive, but he was in an accident, broke both of his arms, his collarbone, so he's actually not really even capable of using the computer that well. As you can imagine, if you couldn't use both of your arms. So his projected, hopefully he's coming back to at least casting, but not observing, will be 2 weeks, ideally. But that's still a bit up in the air. I guess looking towards the future, just really quickly shouting out that we do plan to, I guess, kind of fundraise, because he does have a lot of medical bills. Healthcare is, I guess, okay in Canada, but not the greatest for a lot of miscellaneous, etc. costs. So I guess look forward to that if you want to help out in more of a monetary way. Of course, well wishes and good things, good vibes are also appreciated too.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully he'll be feeling better at some point soon. I think he said something around like he'd be out of commission for approximately 2 weeks, question mark, until he was able to at least start like using the computer again more effectively.
Yeah, like using it in like a very limited sense. Like he definitely, I don't think he's gonna be back to observing and streaming for quite a while, but hopefully I'm back to casting. But that bought us enough time to watch the build.
Yeah.
So it's gonna start off with a drop and a Wood of Mine, like very like the last game except on one base, but the follow up here can be very brutal. One base tank push.
Yep, it's going to be tanks and liberators also coming into the mix, but we'll have to see how well does Gyulzz prepare for this. Stalkers are out, but they're not quite in position to intercept the medevac. He may be able to get some nice damage done with the Widow Mine now, but the Mothership Core is there to Photon Overcharge. So it's going to prevent the Widow Mine from just walking straight into the mineral line.
Yeah. Yeah, aLive has been, I think it's the second time he kind of used the Wood of Mine to try and catch units moving between the bases. Last time, I think it helped with the Mothership Core. This time, only get a single probe.
Yeah, he needs to do a lot more damage than this. Obviously, you're committed to a one-base attack, but the big scary part is going to come when the Siege Tank comes in, as well as when the first Liberator gets in the mix, because that's suddenly when Gyulzz is put on a timer to actually deal with this. As of right now, it's pretty much just, okay, yeah, this is going to be annoying, but I can buy time with Photon Overcharge. As the time goes on, I'm only going to get into a stronger position.
Yeah. Oh, this push is scary, especially if like SCVs were with it. But there aren't any SCVs. There are a lot of Marines.
Oh, you're the SCVs now. You're gonna start those
Just
bunkers
3.
up.
Yeah, they can get bunkers. They can repair. Really, any option. But it's Gyulzz gonna try and break it before it gets too severe.
Oh
I don't know if it's
man,
gonna work though.
that focus fire on the Wood of Mine was so good. I think that we had Gyulzz trying to sacrifice like 4 or 5 probes to set off that Widow Mine, but instead the Widow Mine goes off on the Stalkers, softening a bunch of them up. And I don't think that there's any way Gyulzz can defend with these 3 Stalkers and like a pylon Photon Overcharge goes down. It does absolutely nothing. Gyulzz has fallen.
Yeah, he has. It's a brutal build. Not the first time we've seen aLive do this too. I think he did it versus another Protoss yesterday, or maybe like hell even a Zerg, but on 2 base, not 1. GG!
aLive takes Series 2-0 and moves on to the round of 8 for the Olimoleague very, very quickly.
Yeah, he does. We also have Natural versus Billowy already happening in round 3.
Oh, wow.
Moving somewhat quickly. Like I said, aLive versus Tails might be what we want to get into. Actually, that's probably going to be the easiest one to get into. So.
Most likely. Well, you're assuming that Tails defeats Rocket Man.
Yeah. Yeah, we're being very rude to Rocket Man.
I mean, you could also consider the fact that there aren't that many Zergs right now in Korea that are doing super well. And Rocket Man is a Zerg player. So what if Tails is just totally forgotten about Protoss versus Zerg? He doesn't even remember. He got his observer sniped against Lurkers.
Yeah, that might happen. It looks like... I don't think Tails is ready to play. But I think aLive is also assuming that Tails is gonna win, because he just asked me if he played Tails. BM.
You know what I wonder? And this is obviously in a joking sense. Like, the likelihood of this ever being a thing is very low. But I wonder if you could make a late game... You know, you had like the Bisu build of like Corsair, DT, and everything, where the general premise was that you were putting on pressure with the DTs while the Corsairs kill off the Overlords that would detect things back in Brood War. So what if you did something like that in Zerg versus Protoss now, but with Lurkers instead of DTs? Where the entire premise...
They tried to snipe observers to get Aspire specifically for it, didn't
they? What if you just had like Mutalisks, like a flock of enough Mutalisks to one-shot an observer, just running around, killing off observer. I guess you'd also need the Overseer, so that's a bit harder.
Yeah. I feel like we've seen that, but it just ends up not being worth it because, like, I guess Archons and like Stalkers are too good. I have no idea.
Yeah, and Hydros are usually just like enough to try and get the pickoffs on observers. It seems
too.
Like.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my semi non-serious suggestion for the day.
That's nowhere near Rift logic, so you're fine. Good job.
As long as I don't cross that border.
Yeah, exactly. We should probably go to a break though, just because it's gonna take a little bit.
All right. We'll see you guys in a bit.